Hey everyone, it's Adam Tracy, and following up on my last video about the explosion of these uh, casino like slot mobile apps that pay real cash and how they exist and operate legally, albeit in a gray area. I wanted to turn the focus to trading competitions because you see that a lot in some crypto apps and other things, and it also kind of the analysis applies to all forms of kind of skill-based competition outside of fantasy sports, which is actually specifically provided for in the unlawful internet gaming app. But the analysis is similar, right? So the problem becomes this, right? Like if you wanted to say, I'm going to create an app and, with any like token-based platform, right? You want people to buy your token, right? That's the access token. That's the license, right? That allows them to do something. So right there, you have consideration, okay? Which like risking something of value, which if you recall the analysis in the slot thing, that was like the big killer to get it outside the ambit of being gaming. But to create like a valuable sort of crypto, ecosystem, like you want people to buy that. And so to give away the token, right, which takes you out of the consideration realm, kind of defeats that purpose to some degree, right? Now, again, you can go both ways and say, all right, you get some amount of free token, which can equal an opportunity to get the same outcome, but that may not be what you want to do. So how do you do it, right? One, and the second problem with like, especially like trading simulations is that there's so much randomness in like, let's say like crypto market. There's apps like Ember and stuff like that where, it's this competition. Well, the problem becomes, all right, there's so much randomness in this. Is this actually a game of skill or chance? Because it's random and you have to ensure that every participant, right, has an absolute equal opportunity in terms of like trade execution and the like, which isn't terribly hard to do, but you can't give someone a benefit over another because then it becomes random, right? So in my eyes, in my estimation, how you want to do this, right, is this. One, you need people to buy the token, right? Else this whole thing, you're not doing it for any purpose. But you can't take a rake, right? And the rake is a percentage of each bet that's made, or like of the value of like the aggregate bets that equal the payout, right? Because many states and the federal government will see that as being an indication of gaming, right? So while people can buy the token, okay, come on to the platform or buy the token if you be in the and participate, you can't take a rake, okay? And you have to prove or at least show that the trading simulation or whatever similar like skill-based game is in fact skill-based, right? Like every participant in there has to have an equal chance based on skill alone, right? And that is really a technical thing, but you have to be able to show that, right? Provably fair, as they say, okay? And so the question becomes, well, how do you make money, right? How do I make money if I can't take a rake? Well, one, you're selling the token, okay? Like that is the big thing. Another thing is subscription models, okay? You can offer a subscription that offers like an entry into a game, like a special competition entry, some kind of enhanced analytics, anything like that, right? That will allow people to like pay X per month or whatever the case may be, however they pay it, and you go down the road that way. So selling tokens, subscription, and then you have like the side things, which is like ad revenue, perks, things like that, which may not be what you want to do, but it's the other way to do it. Because again, you cannot be like the state, right? That offers sports wagering and takes like a 10% vig. You can't do that. Okay. That's going to kill it for something like a trading simulation or anything similar. So And again, you could subvert all of this if you just take away the consideration part and say, well, everybody gets like 5 free tokens when they log on or per week or whatever the case may be. But that just creates this dilutive effect to your crypto token. And if you want like an active market and you want it to be valuable, the more tokens you give away, well, the less value the prizes become because there's more out there and the value's like effectively lower. So conceptually, that's what you have to rely upon. Now, the problem is in doing so, okay, in adopting this model, you have to be careful if you're going to allow payment processing. First of all, getting payment processing would be very tough, but it's advisable, especially if it's a crypto-based thing and you're going to allow for the purchase of tokens, to not allow that to happen via any sort of bank involvement, right? No cards, nothing. Because, again, the Unlawful Internet Gaming Act revolves solely upon not the fact that that they're shutting down the gaming, but that financial institutions are processing transactions related to what would be unlawful gaming. And while you may not be unlawful, and I think you would decidedly not be unlawful, it's probably not worth the risk. And quite frankly, getting that sort of payment processing it's possible and I can do it, but it's not the easiest thing in the world. So you have people already coming to wager crypto. Why not just take Bitcoin and whatever USD and call it a day, right? If people want to buy token, buy subscription, whatever the case may be. So that's part 2 of my game versus skill, game versus chance. How are these apps doing what they're doing? How can you keep your crypto quasi-gaming, whether it's trading simulation, whatever, legal and legit? If you have any questions, you know where to find me. I'm here. I'm always here. Email me, adam@tracy.io. Talk to you next time. Cheers.